Welcome back to Sports Locker Sunday. Andrew Chernoff here, joined by the winner of today's wild IndyCar race down at Texas Motor Speedway, Team Penske's Joseph Newgarden. Joseph, I think the phrase everyone was using, that was beautiful chaos. How much of an apt term is that to use to describe the race today?
Yeah, I think that's a great description. You know, it was a really great race from, my seat. I don't know what it looked like from the outside yet, but it was chaotic. It was, nerve-wracking, which typically Texas is always a high-intensity race. There's a lot of side-by-side racing. So this to me was a lot more classic Texas racing that we are used to seeing from that motor speedway. And it was just nerve-wracking for everyone, I think, to try and finish that race on a good note and not end up in the wall was very, very tricky. So, fortunately for us, it ended on the good side. We were able to get the win. But our PPG car was quick. I think that was the difference maker. I was just able to sort of keep Pato on the high side line, not letting him get underneath me was really critical at the ending part of that race.
I was going to ask, if you had finished under green, do you think that you would have been able to hold Pato off?
It's impossible to say. We're not going to know now, unfortunately, but we were just coming to the white flag, so it was going to be interesting to see what was going to happen. I think so. I think we had enough speed today to hold him off at the very end. We were really good in the beginning of the race. We weren't very good in the middle. It kind of detuned us and made the car worse. And so we were playing catch up. And then, fortunately, we had some yellows that brought everything back together. But then at the end, I thought our car was pretty perfect. It was exactly where I needed it. It was right place, right time. And I like to think that we would have had the same result if we had that extra lap. But it's impossible to say. We just needed to be ahead at the right point. And fortunately for us, we were.
You're starting to make this look dramatic every time you win at Texas Motor Speedway. Last year, Joseph, you beat Scotty McLaughlin, beating him off of turn number 4. This year, winning this incredibly wild race. Which one was a better victory, you think, in your mind?
There's no doubt this race was more chaotic, more intense, very nerve-wracking, more so than last year. I think last year was more gratifying just because of the nature of it. It was last lap, last corner. It was unexpected. It wasn't like a premeditated thing that I did. It just was a great opportunity for us, and we took advantage of it. Here it was a tougher scrap. It was a real fight between everybody at the end. So it was much more intense for this race. I just think, the circumstances of last year made it pretty hard to beat.
Those who watched this race this year probably tonight are still catching their breath just because of how insane it was. Do you want more ovals like this on the schedule going forward?
I like a good mix. IndyCar racing, the DNA of our sport is about having the blend of road course, street course, oval racing, and not having one predominantly, over the other. I think it's supposed to be a blend of everything and a perfect balance. We for the most part, we have that balance currently. I think you could add another oval or so. There's certainly ovals on the list that we would love to come back, but I don't think you want to overload on the oval side so that we get out of balance from the rest of the schedule. So and like I said, IndyCar racing, it's about being diverse. It's about being skilled and disciplined at all types of tracks. And so we have a nice mix currently. Texas has been a very good place for us in IndyCar. It's been around a long time and seems like a historic track for us now. So we just got to look after that blend and make sure we don't get too much on one side or the other.
The next race that the series has is at Long Beach, a street course, obviously in California. The last time you went out there, you won at Texas, ended up winning at Long Beach as well. Do you think that this team is capable of doing that again next time you guys race?
Yeah, definitely. I think this year is going to be about every year is about consistency. When you look at the championship, it's a game of averages. Everyone understands what the program is. We've got to be the most consistent finishers. It's weird because this year is kind of shaping up like the beginning of our last season. We had a really tough St. Pete. We went to Texas, we got a win, and then we were able to go to Long Beach and get a win. So we caught back up pretty quickly early in the year. I think we can do that again. I really feel confident that we have the team and the group to do that. But for me, it's so much further than Long Beach. Long Beach is next. That's where our focus is. But you really have got to be keeping two eyes on, the entire championship and all the way down to Laguna. So that's where, my ultimate focus is. But it's one race at a time, and obviously we got to go through Indianapolis at some point, and that's going to be a big item for us.
Well, Joseph Newgarden, I hope you catch your breath after that. Hopefully you get to go to sleep at a normal hour tonight, not stay up with all that adrenaline after this race today. That is Joseph Newgarden, the winner down at Texas Motor Speedway. Joseph, congratulations.
Thanks again.